Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. It's the last game of the season, so we thought we'd get Sam Muller and Kyle Thompson in to score the players for one final time this season in the 2019-20 season when Newcastle have lost 3-1 to the champions Jurgen Klopp's side, Liverpool. Have managed to do the double over Newcastle by beating them 3-1 both times. And I'm here with Kyle Thompson and Sam Muller, who's been drinking his lovely Beer 52 drink. Sam, this is one of your favourites, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what? Very, very quickly, because we do have to score some players, and I don't want to beat the drum too much, but my third lot of Beer 52 come the other day. This month's theme is Dutch beer, and this one is fantastic. So beer52.com/NFTV.
And a big thank you to all our other sponsors, Amazon, who have had 4 Premier League games. They'll have Premier League games next season as well. They'll have 2 rounds of full Premier League action. And, of course, 3 retro, which Kyle Thompson and Sam Muller are rocking out. I'm not currently rocking that out because I'm at a barbecue, but I'll still bring the Newcastle Fans
Top
TV.
shirts undone as well. Hello, ladies.
So I'm on the Corona today, gents, so apologies. I'm going to start with Martin Dubravka. Made a fantastic save in the first half from Minamino. Conceded 3 goals. I don't think he could have done anything about them. When I look back at the second goal in particular, I thought he was a little bit at fault, but it was just too quick for him. So I'm going to 3 goals. I'll go 5 out of 10. Probably a little bit harsh, but
it is 3 goals.
3 goals at home. I know he made a couple of good saves, but 3 goals at home. I know it's Liverpool, but it's a defeat at the end of the day, gents, and that's why I've probably gone a little bit harsh with Martin Dubravka. But I must say, deservedly so, player of the season. I don't think it was straightforward because I think Fernandes probably had a say. I think Shelby even had a say to an extent. ASM, again, another player that has had a fantastic season, but Dubravka for me definitely warranted 5 out of 10. Kyle went 3 centre-halves, and Danny Rose seems to have come off with an injury in his final game of his loan tenure at Newcastle. Yeah. But how did you rate his performance so far?
So far, since he signed for Newcastle, or just on the basis of today?
I'll just go on the basis of today, but would you, after today and after everything that you've seen, do you think Newcastle should go from if they can't get Willems?
Well, I'll answer the first one first. I think he was okay in bits today. To be honest, barring the 3 goals, I think he went off when the main 3 Liverpool attackers came on, so he was kind of ineffective by us getting hammered by them in the second half. So I'll give Rose a 6 out of 10. I don't think he did anything wrong today. But to answer your second question, I'll probably say he's been inconsistent, but he's been getting gradually better as the seasons went on. And I actually would sign him next season. I know I've said in the past that I probably wouldn't, but if we can get the right deal for him, 5 to 8, 9 million for an experienced fullback like Danny Rose, and plus try and get Willems in on loan as well, then that would be 2 brilliant left backs for next season. Definitely depth in quality and depth, strength in depth. That's what I look for.
You got there in the end, did I, Kyle?
No,
all right, our fellow NE29 lad. Sam, I'll let you continue with Federico Fernandez. What did you make of his performances? I think he'll be absolutely buzzing, to be fair, that the season's over, because if anyone deserved a break after the last, say, 6 weeks, Fernandez definitely deserved it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's been superb since the restart. Every minute of every game, fair play to him. He got a bit of stick off a few guests that I had on in the fan reaction show regarding the first goal.
Me as well, I have to be honest.
Yeah, which is why I'm going to give him a 6. Now, to counteract that, what a tackle on Salah.
Oh, amazing.
What a tackle on Salah. Absolutely superb. The first goal is the only reason why he's not getting a 7 or higher. But again, like you say, with Dubravka, 3 goals conceded. That aside, Fernandes is playing with 2 part-timers, centre-back, Manquillo and Rose, 5'6", the pair of them. It's not centre-back material, to be fair, is it? I know Kel Watts came on for Rose later on, but the damage was more or less done, wasn't it? On a whole, Fernandes, real late contender for player of the season. The only blot on his copybook was that first goal. I mean, why you'd leave Van Dijk to Manquillo, duck your head. It's not the smartest thing he's done, but that tackle on Salah was pure filth. It was brilliant.
Best outfield player for Newcastle this season, Sam?
No. That would be ASM or Hayden. But Fernandez does definitely deserve honourable mentions along with Shelvey.
Kyle, is he your outfield player this season, or does he deserve to be in the conversation at least?
Top 5, I'd say, because he's been very consistent throughout the season, and sometimes consistency goes kind of under the radar, especially when you've got star players that are doing really well, like Maximin has, like the likes of Clark did. Even though he played less games, he probably would have got a shout if he played more. But Fernandez has been so consistent. He's managed to stay fit, even though he's been definitely overplayed all season. So definitely top 5, but I would say Maximin gets a nod. Or even Joelinton. Let's give Joelinton some love. Player of the season, top goal scorer. Oh wait, no, my mistake. But no, Ferdy's done really well, and his tackle on Salah, I agree with Sam. It was probably one of the tackles of the season. Best tackle I've seen since. Do you remember Preston away friendly where Dummett did that 50-50 challenge, and it was just like brilliant, like that. I think that's quite a while back if you remember it, but it's the best tackle I've seen since then. Excellent challenge from them.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to continue with Javier Manquillo. Again, he's not my favourite ever defender. I think he should have been quicker closing down Origi for the second goal, just in my opinion. I think he needs to do a little bit better with that. I'm going to go 5 out of 10 as well with Javier Manquillo. Again, I can't be too high on them because they've conceded 3 again at home. We've got to remember it is a defeat today. I know we played okay in certain parts of the game, but it is a defeat. So, yeah, look, he's going to be at Newcastle for the foreseeable, takeover or no takeover. He's on a 4-year deal. So he's not a centre-half, in my opinion. I can understand why Bruce has done that to a certain extent, just to kind of bulk the midfield up so Liverpool can't use Johnny Groves hair fast. Oh, Jason, I love you. I absolutely love you, Jason. I'm taking that to the grave for sure. I love how Sam's put that comment in as well. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, just going back to Manquillo, yeah, he's going to be there. He's going to be there next season. So look, we're going to have to live with him. But if he is going to play, he needs to be playing right back. And he's probably, if we have to play right wing back occasionally, he can do a job. I just want to see him a bit better going forward because he doesn't offer anything going forward, in my personal opinion.
Going forward, he needs to be a second choice right back, really, doesn't he?
Well, he does, but at the minute, Steve Bruce seems to be happy with him. So I can't
He's
really
happy with Bentaleb as well.
Oh, he is happy with Bentaleb.
He's playing him.
We'll leave that one.
I disagree with Manquillo, mind. I thought he was a fault for both goals because Liverpool's second and third goal were both very similar. They just cut in on the right peg and put it in the bottom, put it in either corner. But I think Manquillo could have got tighter for both goals.
Possibly. I think he was more at fault for the second than he was the third, just in my opinion. I think,
sure.
It just depends how you look at it, I suppose. You could point the finger, but I think 5 is probably a fair assessment. Let's move into the 5, and we'll go on the left-hand side to start with. We'll start with Matt Ritchie, Sam. He had to be a more defensive left-sided midfielder or left-sided wing-back, or however you want to interpret it today. What did you make of his performance?
I thought he did okay. Yeah, I can't think of him making too many errors. He looked to get forward, and his passing was decent, so that's why I'm going to give him a 6. He was up against their young lad, the name of which escapes me completely, who was
Nico Williams for Liverpool.
Correct. Thank you. Yes, Williams.
It's okay.
Yeah. He wasn't spectacular. He didn't do anything brilliant, but he didn't do anything bad either. So it was a solid, steady Matt Ritchie-esque performance. It wasn't the 10 out of 10 that he had, thanks to Kyle on Monday for his for his fantastic verbal exploits that we all love Matt Ritchie for. But I thought he was fine today. He's decent. What frustrates me, you just wish he had an extra yard of pace, but he's getting on a bit now, isn't he? But yeah, 6 out of 10 for Ritchie for me.
Kyle, I'll let you have John Joe Shelvey because you weren't too keen on Nabil Bentaleb. I'll let you have John.
Do you think anyone is?
No, I'll let you have John Joe Shelvey, the former Liverpool man, got the assist for Gale's goal in the first 25 seconds. Obviously, BT missed it live, but you know, him and Gale have that partnership, and they have that, you know, that almost like when you have if you're a twin and you have that like signal, that brain signal,
telepathic.
Yeah, that's the word I was
Yeah.
looking for. And it seems to me that him and Gayle have that telepathic footballing pass. Let's go
Yes.
with that. And it was a fantastic put on a plate for Gayle, and obviously we'll touch about Gale's goal scoring performance in a second. But after that, we didn't really see much of John Joe Shelby really going
He
forward.
lost the ball a lot, mate.
He did, but what do you think?
I think
Does he get higher marks for the assist?
he probably does. I'd probably give him a 7 straight from the off. But I feel sorry for his last few peaks after 25 seconds, like because he was shit after it. He kept losing the ball in midfield. His passing was astray. It wasn't very good from John Joe. But his assist was brilliant, very quick. To let Dwight Gayle in, and they've been brilliant for years together. They've just got that ability to know where each other's going to be in certain times. I think I remember one a couple of years ago when we played Norwich at home, and we beat them 4-3, and he just put a ball straight over the top of Gayle. I could name so many more where they've came together really well. But yeah, John Joe 7. But that's on his assist alone. I think if it wasn't for the assist, it would probably be a 5, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a fantastic assist. Let's continue with Nabil Bentaleb. I'll have Nabil Bentaleb. When he lasted, obviously, just after half time, he came off with a knock. Again, it just takeover or not just depends whether Newcastle will buy him on a permanent because his wages are quite high. I think it is Schalke that have got him, and it just depends whether they'll lower their price on him, if I'm being brutally honest with Nabil Bentaleb. Today, he only played just over a half. Did he do anything massively bad today? He almost put in...
He nearly did.
Origi. No, he put in Origi. Was it Origi or Minamino, one of the two? Actually, no, it was Oxlade-Chamberlain. I do apologise. It was Oxlade-Chamberlain he put through just before half-time. I'll go 6. I'll be a bit generous with Bentaleb. I'll be generous. It is
generous. It is. He's a very lazy midfielder, Johnny.
He had a lot of touches, but I don't think he was that bad today. I think we've seen a lot worse performances than Nabil Bentaleb. And you've got to remember, he only played just over half-time. Like, it was about 50 minutes. I was umming and ahhing between a 5 and a 6, but Nabil Bentaleb... Look, he was probably a 6 out of 10 today because he only played 15 minutes. And you've got to remember, Liverpool only scored 1, and it wasn't when he got taken off. It was never really down to him. I do agree with Sam. I wouldn't buy him on a permanent. I wouldn't buy him in the summer because I don't think he's better than what we've got. But it might be a case if this takeover doesn't go through, he'll be the sort of player that we're going to have to go for.
Oh, let the hate roll in.
I disagree. I disagree, Johnny. I think if Steve Bruce stays as manager, whether a takeover happens or not, I think he'll sign Bentaleb. I just think Bruce really rates the lad. I don't know what he sees.
He's quotes in the week saying Bentaleb's done okay when he came in. You're just like, oh my god!
It blows my mind.
What did he do wrong today? Massively wrong. Apart from that pass that nearly went through, but obviously it didn't go through to Oxlade-Chamberlain. What did he really do wrong today? Like I was umming and ahhing between a 5 and a 6. Would you have been that hypercritical if I went 5 out of 10 for him, for example?
5 would be fair.
It wouldn't have been as bad. I would say a 5. Like
I just don't think he did anything wrong towards the goal. He only had one bad pass. No, look, for me, he needs to release the ball quicker. He does need to release the ball quicker, but I don't think today you can look at it and go, was he that bad today? That's just my opinion.
No, but it wasn't Man City bad.
It really concerns me.
Did you see that back pass towards the goalkeeper in the first half? That was mental. Like, I had a heart attack. He passed the back to the goalkeeper, and there's two proper mental, man. I've never known out like it. Crazy. I'll give him a 4 for that alone, but no, I think I'd say 5's fair. Like.
I'm going to stick with 6. Apart from that pass, which nearly let Liverpool through, and obviously Dubravka was there. I don't think he was involved in going forward. He did nothing going forward for Newcastle today. But he is. I do take what Smash Pumpkin saying. He is too slow, and that's why I wouldn't have him at Newcastle next season. We might touch upon in the last word. We might mention it in this show that Matty Longstaff wasn't even on the bench today. I think that tells you exactly what's going to happen with that lad. We'll continue with scoring the players. We'll continue with Valentino Lazaro. Sam, what did you make of his performance? He didn't really get much of a chance going forward today.
He played. He started.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Did he take his chance? No. He was the only one, to be fair, that had an actual proper job on his hands, which is why he's getting a 5. Obviously, Robertson played. There was no Alexander-Arnold until late on, obviously, but Robertson, one of the best left-backs in the world now. I remember when we were interested in him back in the day. Dropped a bollock there, not for the first time. But Lazaro struggled, really. Couldn't get into the game. Robertson had him pretty well covered. Couldn't really get things clicking with ASM in the first half. Miggy was hot and cold throughout the game again. Didn't really get into it, which we'll come on to, obviously. But yeah, it's not a game where he should have been chucked into saying, "Go on there, lad. Here's your chance." This should have been happening against Brighton on Monday. So
exactly
the same can be said for a couple, but it is what it is. So 5 out of 10 for Lazaro. If he comes back next season, who knows?
Miguel Miron, Kyle. Again, he had a couple of runs, but that lad suffers in that position in this formation. In my opinion, I just don't think, for me, he puts a real great deal in this game. He really doesn't. He doesn't have any impact in this game when you play him in that formation, in that position. Today, yes, it was against Liverpool. It was a bit different than it was against Brighton and Watford beforehand, or even Spurs to that extent. But nothing spectacular today.
I mean, he ran.
I could look. I didn't do what he did.
Like, he ran. I don't know what that noise is, by the way. It's not me.
It's not me.
Johnny,
it'll be Johnny.
No, but on Almiron, I thought he cut out a couple of interceptions not well today. He made a couple of decent tackles. But obviously on the ball, he didn't make much of an impact because Liverpool defended really well, in my opinion, today. I'll give Miggy a 5 out of 10. Thought he was solid running around. He never gave up. Constantly smiling, as always, with Miggy. But yeah, in terms of going forward, he just didn't really offer much today. And you're right, he does really suffer in that position.
Your mic's gone, Johnny. Come out and come back in.
The mic is gone.
And we'll continue to discuss Miggy while we wait for Mr. Greenwood. I think you're right in what you say, Kyle, and what Johnny said. The formation doesn't suit. Bruce is guilty of this a few times, because if you remember around Christmas time, he had a similar thing where he played a 3-5-2 and it didn't suit Isaac Hayden. I think this is the same thing in this game, where this formation with Miggy Almiron, it just doesn't. You can't get anything out of him. He's just completely ineffective.
Yeah. Or he's just playing a bit too deep to be effective, because when he gets the ball, he's having to run 30 yards before he's in a position to pass the ball off or get a maximum or whatever it may be. Are you with Johnny?
No. Plug your mic in.
No. Oh, God. No, nah.
Joy
we're going to have to wing it there, Sam.
A vision.
Can you hear it? Right, here we go.
Oh,
there we go. I don't know what you did.
We can hear you again. Hooray. No, now
God.
we can't.
We're not live or anything.
Yeah, no, right. No. Take your microphone out.
No, it's not working, mate.
Right, can you hear me now?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. I do know what you did, mate, but you did something right.
Oh my God, sickness. Mental.
ASM.
Oh, Johnny, man.
We'll continue with ASM. I was got ASM today. Only played a half. I don't think he's fit. I've said this to Kyle and Sam before against Brighton. I didn't think he was fit at all. I'll go 5 out of 10 because he was only on for a half, and I don't think he really did a great deal when he was on. Give him a rest. Give this lad a rest. If you give him a rest, and you can get back to some of the sort of performed Johnny's mate. Yeah, it is Matthew. It is his touch is Miggy's first touch. Even some things never change. You're right with NFTV extra as well. Cheers, Jason. No, we'll go 5 out of 10 from for me. He just I don't know about him when he's not fit. Don't play him. Give someone a chance because he doesn't do anything really. He had a couple of touches, but he needs to be given that time to have a rest. He's injured. Everybody knows he's injured. Just I don't know. It just gets on my nerves. It just really
thankfully,
does.
It's going to be. Thankfully, he can have a nice holiday and recharge the batteries for next season.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, I think my microphone needs to recharge its batteries for next season as well. Right.
I think it's had as many coronas as you have had, to be honest. Is your headphones sponsored by BR52 as well?
Probably. I think I got them from Amazon, to be honest. Right. Dwight Gayle, son. Got the goal. Great finish, especially his first proper chance after 25 seconds. But that was pretty much it for Dwight Gayle.
Yeah, it was. Through no real fault of his own. Almiron nearly found him with a cross, but he was left so isolated. I mean, he's a striker. He had one chance and took it. So he's getting a 7 from me. There's not a vast amount he could do against the likes of Van Dijk because it's always going to be an uphill task. There's a real argument forming now to be keeping Dwight Gayle.
We've got to, Sam.
The problem is if we go into next season with Dwight Gayle still at Newcastle United, that's fine, but he should be third choice striker, squad player at best. This is what you do to need. We need 2 strikers in, and that's assuming you can't really count Carroll because you can't rely on his fitness.
No,
but it is what it is. Gale's kind of playing himself into staying. I mean, there's obviously going to be major departures this summer, but all of a sudden, I'm going to be surprised if Dwight Gayle is actually one of them. I mean, I've always said I'd get rid of him because he's a championship striker, guaranteed 20 goals. Something which you may have missed in the fan reaction show. One of the comments was you could offer Bournemouth Dwight Gayle plus 9 or 10 million for either King or Wilson, which I thought was a reasonable shout.
King's overrated, in my opinion. If you're going to do that, you do it with Callum Wilson, in my personal opinion.
Oh, yeah, interested. Oh, Lee's in the comments. Apparently, Matty was injured.
Can you imagine? I think that was a load of rubbish, to be honest. I have to be honest. I think it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, I do. Can you imagine if Matty goes to Schalke and then Schalke flog us Bentaleb? My word, they'd have had our pants down.
Yeah. Just a bit. Let's move into the substitutes. I'd like to start with Joe Linton. Kyle came on. Did he do anything?
not really, no. I'm surprised you're asking us to give him a score, to be honest. I would give him an NA, but he's decent trim, red hair.
You can't give him an NA. He came on at half time.
Did he?
Yeah, 45.
That sums it up then, a 5. I'll give him a 5. He didn't do anything. He didn't? What did he do?
Yeah,
nothing. 5 just hit him. Just kind of there. That's it. I'd give him a 5. I thought he came on later in the game. To be honest, I really did. Yeah, I'm shocked at that. I'm shocked he played a full half. I mean, I came back from like the bog at 47 minutes. So I didn't even know he came on. I thought it was just like he was there, and that was he's on. But I didn't think he played a full half. Like, but yeah, he didn't do that with mention for me. Like, poor season from Jordan, but hopefully he sticks to what he said, and we can hope for a better version of him next season. Because by God, for £40 million, we cannot get any worse. Surely.
Sean Longstaff's getting a 5 from me as well. Came on after 49 minutes or 48 minutes when Nabil Bentaleb came off injured. He was okay, but he was just there to defend. That's all it was, and that's not his job, in my opinion. I think Sean Longstaff's better going forward. I think he's better as a number 10. You've seen that in games, maybe against Oxford in the FA Cup. He's more better when he's actually trying to create chances. The same with Bournemouth away from home. I think he's better when he's going towards goal. So I'd give him a 5 out of 10 for a disciplined defensive job, to say the least. But that's all he had to do against Liverpool, really. Sam, Andy Carroll.
Disappointed, I thought. Didn't really do much. Normally he has an impact when he comes on. But again, you're playing Van Dijk. He did put himself about a bit, but to little or no effect. The game plateaued massively and just petered out into a no contest. We had no real ambition of going forward. So it's a bit of a shame, really, because we had a cracking record on the last day of the season, and Liverpool were there to be taken, especially in the first half. But it is what it is. Andy Carroll, 4 out of 10. At least he made it onto the pitch for a bit. I like him. I can't imagine him playing anywhere else now in this stage of his career. I feel like he is good to have around, but he needs to get on the pitch, and he hasn't scored all season. It's poor, isn't it? Really poor.
It's that's what you're going to get with Andy Carroll. I'm afraid, bit part player, and that's what he is this season, and more likely going to be next season as well, unless there's some sort of dramatic reverse decision that they don't keep him really and loan him out or whatever for a season. But that's going to be the case, Andy Carroll. Kel Watts came on, which was good to see. Kyle, a youngster getting a chance, but
yeah, it was
late,
highlight of the day for me. I would have liked to have seen him get a chance against Brighton, to see what he could actually do. Instead of chucking him in, and then I think it was a couple of minutes later, Mane, Salah, and Firmino all come on. I mean, the poor lad coming on to like basically the best front three on the planet. But considering that, I don't think he did too bad, to be honest. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, I would, as I says, I would like to see him in earlier games, to see what he can do in it, where we're a bit more open and like defensively tackle wise and positioning wise, to see if there's a chance for him next season or pre-season. But yeah, I thought he came in and he did a job. So fair play to him. And if it's the only time he plays for Newcastle United, he can say at least he went in and give himself a good account of himself. But I would like to see more of him. I really would.
Isaac Hayden gets a 5 out of 10 for me when he came on. I think it could have either been 5 out of 10 or non-applicable, but we'll go 5 out of 10. I think, again, another player like ASM needs a break. Really needs a break. Just needs a few weeks where he can not play much football, get himself fit for pre-season, and get back on September the 12th whenever the Premier League's going to be back in operation. So, yeah, 5 out of 10 for Isaac Hayden. Steve Bruce, right, this is going to be interesting. 3-1 defeat at home to Liverpool. They are the champions. Newcastle did take the leads. The formation, I wasn't surprised by the formation. I'm going 4 out of 10. Does anybody disagree?
No, I agree with 4. Kyle disagrees because he's just absolutely gone.
He's had
gone.
enough of him, hasn't he, Sam?
Yeah, I don't blame him. Didn't like that formation today. It doesn't work. It's not getting the best out of players, and that's been a recurring theme, as I said, Johnny, when you were having your microphone issues. He did a similar thing around Christmas time.
I can hear you.
Did a similar thing around Christmas time when he switched to the 3-5-2, and it just played Hayden out of the games. Played Hayden out of the games completely as Kyle rejoined us. And it's doing the same with Miggy. It did the same. And why, when you've only got one fit centre back, are you putting 2 5'6" wing backs in the centre of the park, in the centre of defence? It beggars belief. I mean, it just comes back to what we were saying on Monday. 4-2-3-1 with Kel Watts, which is what he should have tried on Monday. See how Watts would have gone on. Liverpool were always going to put a weakened team. Watts and Origi would have been a decent battle with Fernandes next to him. All right, you bring on Salah, Mane and Firmino. That is what it is. Liverpool are the best team in the world at the moment, so hopes are never that high anyway. But it's just there's too many things, and I saw a report from him this season saying, "Oh, I didn't really want to change the formation too soon. I knew it needed to change, but I didn't want to change it." You're just like, well, what the? Come on, mate. This is silly. He tried to say we've been playing 5 at the back for the past 3 years. We haven't at all. We played it last season. Season before that, we were 4-2-3-1. So don't give me that bull. So next season, the start of next season, if he's still in charge, especially if there's not been a takeover, this is where he's going to really have to earn his salt, because this is it now. He's had his first season to get his eye in. I said on the fan reaction as well, I asked, do you think he knows his strongest 11? I don't think he has a clue about strongest 11 or what system he wants to play. I don't think he knows. I don't think he has a clue. He needs to get his head round it, and he needs to appreciate what he needs to bring in. Because another thing that's irritating me is all I'm seeing is centre midfielders linked to us. We need 2 strikers and a freaking right back for starters, and we need to get Willems it back. And I would agree with Kyle. I would sign Rose, but I want them both. I want them both, because that's how you add strength in depth. We need a whole freaking clear out in the summer. And I know I'm getting off topic. I apologise, but there's little bubbling undercurrents that he's had his honeymoon period. He's done well this season. Everyone, I think, here, and I think most people watching would have said we would have taken 13th at the start of this season because
100%.
we were second favourites to be relegated from the Premier League in August. So it's just too indecisive. His substitutions are always too late, apart from today, but they were forced. Squad management has been a recurring theme over the past few weeks. He's playing players out of position. He's playing players that are unfit. He's playing players that have constantly got knocks and niggles, and that Lascelles in the programme notes today said he's been carrying this ankle injury for months, and the restart has just completely done him when he's playing 3 games in a week. So that's why he's had to have it operated on. It's touch and go whether he makes the start of next season. So there's a few things that are really starting to concern me. So yeah, mini rant over. Sorry.
Kyle, is the first 6 games from next season vital for Steve Bruce if Newcastle do not get this takeover over the line?
I would say so, yeah. But then again, I think if the takeover doesn't go through and we've got Mike Ashley, I think Steve Bruce will be seen as the man, a bit like Alan Pardew was seen as the man, where Mike Ashley was very just happy to keep him in charge. The only way he'd sack a manager is if the writing's on the wall kind of thing, like it was with Steve McLaren, where it's either we'll get rid of him or we're going to get relegated embarrassingly, whereas Rafa nearly kept up, but... Yeah, it's to be honest, mate. I think if a takeover goes through, I think Steve Bruce will be showing the door. I really do. So it's potentially his last game in charge, because as Sam said, there's just too many concerning things, and I agree. I don't think he knows his best side. I don't think he knows his best formation. To be honest with Steve Bruce, although we have given credit when it's happened, with certain tactics and formations. We've got to be real here. He chucked a lot of mud at a wall and see what stuck. He tried 4-4-2 with Leicester away. We got absolutely embarrassed. He tried the wing back system at home to the likes of Oxford, Brighton. We drew 0-0. Burnley. We tried this 4-2-2-3-1 system that worked against some of the lower teams, but the bigger sides embarrassed were. But like as we said earlier in the season and argued long about on black and white shows and whatnot, that the wing back system was effective against the bigger sides because it got results against Man United. We played well against Liverpool at Anfield. We got a couple of results here and there, but against these lower sides, the likes of Watford's at home when we had a piss poor draw, like there's been loads throughout the season you probably know of, and like where he just hasn't took advantage of that and played with forward players further forward instead of playing them in their own half kind of thing. I think Bruce has been lucky to an extent with some of the formations he's had, but he still has had a good season. And I think if the takeover doesn't happen, although I think his job is safe in our opinion as fans, I think the first 6 games is very vital because obviously you can amp up the pressure if he has a bad start again, like he did this season.
Yeah, for sure. One word off both of you, Sam and Kyle. One word. If this takeover happens, is Steve Bruce in charge of the first game of the season next year? Kyle?
No.
Both no.
No.
If you listen to what Ben Jacobs says, that's pretty much a done deal. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, it could be, but we don't know. According to Olivia Bernard, it happened a couple of months ago. If you listen to Jim White, it happened in January. Nobody knows, mate. Honestly, nobody knows. Still with the Premier League, we've just got to fingers crossed that this deal goes through and soon, because with the end of the season now, I remember we were talking in Restart saying, we could potentially have this done for the start of the project Restart. We're at the end of the season now, and we're still no further forward with an answer. It needs sorted, and it needs sorted quickly. So Richard Masters, instead of giving people trophies and things like that, sort of and take over, please, because we've been waiting a very long time for an answer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is the end of the Score and the Players this season. A big thanks to everybody that's commented and liked videos over the season for Score and the Players. Obviously, some of it's been in lockdown, some of it hasn't been in lockdown. So I can only say a big thank you to everybody that's been involved. We still have the last word with Lee later on this evening. We've obviously seen the family action already with Sam, who's been involved with that this afternoon, along with Owen and Lee as well. But also a big thanks to Kyle Thompson. Kyle's been at Newcastle Fans TV for the last few years. He's been on the Facebook page and the YouTube page predominantly. And I'm not going to blow his own trumpet, but he's been absolutely brilliant for me personally. He's going to be a real miss. And me and Sam have both said on the records that I think he's making a mistake. But it's his decision.
Go, man! Don't go!
But on behalf of all the people that have commented, Kyle, and obviously everybody at Newcastle Fans TV, that obviously you've seen the private group, but a big thank you to you for all your hard work. A big thank you to Paul as well. I know he left a few days ago, so a big thank you to Paul as well for all his hard work. But you will be a miss, Kyle, and you will be a miss, Paul, if you're watching as well. A big thanks to all our sponsors, as we mentioned, BF52,
absolutely.
3 Retro, and of course to Amazon. Obviously, Kyle's getting a few nice comments now, which is nice to see. Jason Carter, Kyle Stayman.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Kyle.
Exactly. But Kyle will put his own message on the Facebook group maybe later on tonight. Today is his last day. So obviously a big thanks to him and Paul over the last week as well. And that's it. That is the end of the season pretty much for Newcastle Fans TV. Got the last word with Lee. Later on tonight, he'll touch across about Dwight Gayle's fantastic goal in the first 25 seconds. Steve Bruce, this season overall, it's been a bit of an up and down. Even in lockdown, it's been up and down, which we kind of all expected, really, for being brutally honest. But we'll be back. We've got a special guest for the Greenwood and Mulliner show on Wednesday. Shall we announce it now, Lee? Sam, sorry? Or do you want to announce it next week?
No. It's not being announced yet. It might be announced on our socials later at Newcastle Fans TV. Keep an eye out.
Get on the Facebook and the Twitter pages and maybe Instagram as well. And we'll announce maybe a former Newcastle player might be on the cards for the Greenwood and Mulliner show. And which will be entertaining on the main channel. Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that one. But yeah, all I can say is thank you very much for coming. A big thanks to Sam Mulliner.
Cheers, mate. Don't go, Kyle.
And a final big thank you to Kyle Thompson.
Thank you, lads, and cheers everybody for all the love. But this will be my last video as a member. I'll still come on every now and then to pop my head in the door to say how loud it is, but this is my final one as a member. But thank you for all the love and the support over the years, and all the love on Facebook and YouTube and that. But it's been a genuine pleasure, so thank you. Cheers.
No problem, and that is literally it. So big thank you. We'll have the last word later on. Make sure you keep an eye on all the socials for the Greenwood and Mulliner show. And until then, and from Kyle, we'll see you very, very soon.
Cheers, Leo.